Hello, everyone. Good afternoon from Madrid in Spain. We've got so many people from all around the world, so that's good. We're truly grateful to welcome you all. Well, today is a special webinar for us because we're gonna talk about double serving. That is to try to shed some light on double serving, which is something that's been raising a lot of questions lately, and we're going to explain why. Let's start into the first question. So I'm gonna share a presentation for you. I'll share some slides to try to understand it a little bit better. So just confirm if you can see the presentation. Hopefully you can see my screen now. So I'm gonna start by trying to explain what is that double serving and why is it happening, and we'll take a look at the past to give you some context, and we'll share some predictions on where we think this is going. So what exactly is double serving? Recently, Google decided to run two parallel independent auctions for the same query, search query. One auction determines the top 4 ad slots, and the other controls the position from 5 downward. So this means a single advertiser can show ads in both areas, effectively serving twice for the same query, which sounds like a good thing, right? But we're not so sure. So it might seem like positive at first, but we've seen many cases where it was not. So let's break it down a little. When did it start? So there's no official date, but it seems that Google started testing something this between September and October 2024, but between the week in the week between 10 and 14 of February, it accelerated rapidly. That's when large advertisers, especially those spending heavily on their campaigns and especially on brand keywords, started noticing. And it seemed to only affected branded search terms at that time. But we saw something, that volumes that started increasing in double serving, and another effect emerged, that the cost started growing in the accounts. And what it happened? Campaigns became less profitable because even that they were appearing twice, so that gave them more impressions, more visibility. They were having lower CTRs because as they had only two ads, they had two ads for the same query, their CTR went down. So that decreased also their quality score, which ended up increasing their CPCs and hence their CPAs. That increased the effective cost because some of these advertisers were spending between 10 and 20% of their total budget went to branded keywords. So that became like an increase of 10% of the cost to take the same conversions. So that was real, and that was really hard to them. So once we saw that, we analyzed it with top advertisers in many industries and markets and different kind of campaigns to try to understand where we were at that time and what our predictions could be. So we say, what do we think is going to happen in the future? And as we've been in Google Ads so many years, specifically since 2003, that means more than 22 years. We've been working both in Google, in large advertisers, spending millions of euros in large scale campaigns. Every time we love Google Ads. We know it's the best channel to get clients and to have an effective sales channel. But as we are more time in that, we have less certainties. We we see Google as a technological system, a very complex one, in which many variables are interconnected. So this is about interpreting your own data, understanding the context, and finding what it works for your situation, because it's not going to be the same thing every time. So if you're looking for black and white answers, you are in the wrong place, because we've been working with that for many years, but we know that there's no a unique question or unique answer for that. But having said that, we see this double serving thing as something really important and something that is going to change so many things, especially the costs and probably conversions. So, like all changes, some clients will benefit from it and others will lose out. So let me tell you first, to see the predictions, let me tell you some stories about trademarks. In the early days of Google, back 20 years ago, it was possible to block your brand from being beat from others. So you could just tell Google that there was a trademark registry there where advertisers could show us that they had a trademark, one or many, and we could register that brand so nobody could bid on them. So that was good. And at that time, CPCs for your brand keywords were the minimum price. That at the beginning was 5 cents, or dollars, or euros, and then when we developed quality score, that was some years later, the minimum was even lower, was 1 cent. So that was very good. But at some point between 2008 and 2010, depending on the markets, Google opened that bid to all brands. So everyone could basically buy or bid in other keywords, even if there were brands from others. So what it happened, it's no surprise for anyone, is that prices went up, growing high until 50 cents or $1, and even higher increases in brand keywords. Now, many years later, there are many advertisers that are spending between 10 and 20% of their cost are going to branding keywords, because those prices went up. So if we zoom out that and we take a look at Google revenues worldwide, we can see that they did very well, actually. So that is their revenues between 2002 and the last year results. So they've been growing a lot. These numbers are billions, by the way. So this is a lot. So if you think that in 10 or 10, between 10 and 20% of that comes from branded keywords, that means between 34 and 68 billion dollars per year. That is the equivalent to the revenues of large companies like Netflix, Zara Group, Coca-Cola, or Nike. So just to give you an idea of their volumes and how important is that for them, so you can imagine that they are not motivated to stop that trademark policy that changed at some point 10, 15 years ago. and now is an important revenue stream for them. So we don't have a crystal ball to see the future, but we seen some parallel things in that double serving case and the trademark. So we think that if we look at 1 year, 2 year, 5 years time, probably we will see something quite similar to that, in which revenues went up. So what have we built for that? We developed a tool to help our advertisers to understand what is happening, why, when, and where it's happening in their accounts, to take action and to optimize. So one of the things is an algorithm capable of detecting where are you having double serving at keyword level, keyword ad group, campaign, and also an account level, to infer when Google is having that. That's important because even Google is not giving it to you. So it's a layer of information that will help you analyze that. So for instance, at a keyword level, we can see so many different KPIs or variables in which you will be able to cross those variables to understand better what is happening. So there's those ROAS, CPA, conversions, print density. By the way, if you don't know what is that, this is something that we calculate for you, and you can't see it any other way. But with our tool, you will be able to understand that variable. That means the number of is like the impressions quantity of your brand, of your account. So you can see at keyword level what is the number of your impressions divided by the total impressions of all of the advertisers. And that means that you will be able to know when are you, for instance, if it's 100%, that means you are the only one advertising for that keyword. And if it's very low, it means that there are many other advertisers having many impressions in that keyword. If you cross that, if you filter that with search impressions share, that it obviously is not the same thing, you will be able to know when are you very competitive and you are in a very good position, but you have low impression share. So that means you could be getting more conversions, for instance. And you will be able to see also number of competitors, when are you in the absolute top of page, or that column that means when are you having double serving. We're giving it to you in a probabilistic way to show it to you. So if you want to deep dive in that double serving topic, you will be able to understand at keyword level which ones are having that double serving, is very likely, or is likely, or unlikely, or it's not happening to you. And in each of these keywords, you will see the quantity of impressions that you're having in the top position, or on the other, that means down, or what is the CPC when you are in top and when you are in other. So you will see, will be able to see that. So once we are here, what are the actionable items or some tips and tricks? So we think our commitment with our clients, with our advertisers, is that we're going to give them superpowers to analyze many data. We analyze millions of data to make their life easier. And we give them those, from that data point, we surface clear, actionable insights so they can make right decisions. But they have to do it because they know the context, they know how are they performing. So they know if they have to be more aggressive or less, depending on many questions, that some of them are inside the account, but others are out of the accounts. It depends on how are they selling or converting in their call center or many other things. So there are what our commitment. We like to understand and we like to talk to our clients, to the brilliant minds managing millions of spending in Google, to understand what is the best strategies and to give them ideas, open their mind to provide with better insights to take better decisions. So what is the goal? The goal is to convert that into something that is gonna sum, is gonna be positive for you, for your account, because every we've seen for so many years in Google that any change can be bad or good for you depending on how do you manage it and how do you act for that. So once we've seen that, we're going to show you our tool, but only 1 minute, just to give you an example. And then we can hold a Q&A if you have some questions, because I know that there are many questions, many different questions, especially because this is like a black box in which nobody answers you, especially Google. They can't tell you yet where are you suffering that, but the bad thing is that you're suffering. And if you haven't yet, probably you will see it later on, because there's something that came to stay, and you will notice it in your account. So I'm gonna change from here to show you an example. This is directly in our tool. We see a sample, seeing the number of ads that you've gotten and their ad strength. So we know that 2% are poor or 23% are average. And we see the performance per ad. So we see that conversions can be higher in the excellent ads, or better than good, better than average, or poor that doesn't convert. So we can, from here, we can manage it. But I'm gonna jump to that keyword library. So that is what I was showing you before, in which you can see at your account level, you can see the keywords, in which you will discover which ones are having. I can filter here, for instance, and can see, show me the ones that have a print density higher than 30. So it will tell me which ones it is having that, or an impression share lower than 70. So in that case, I'm seeing keywords in which I have very good position in terms of conversions, or impressions, or print density, and low impression share, in which I can grow a lot, because I can see here number of competitors at that keyword level. So that is good. And also I can see many other variables, like that of double serving. I can see if it's certain that this is happening for that keyword, or very likely, or is unlikely, or even if it's not happening, in that case it seems that it's happening also. And I can also come here to see that double serving in detail, in a deep dive, to understand when is happening. So I can see that keyword, I can see their impressions in top, in other, their CPCs in top, in other. Look at this case, is even higher, even more expensive when you are in other rather than in top. And also in that case, so I can see in that at keyword level, in that case it's happening in a lot of cases. So you will discover it. And just to finish, to show you our ads improvement tool, you can see what is happening in your ad. So you can discover what can be improved in your ads, in the ads that you have actually now. So if you come here to the enhanced RSA, our tool will change the ads, like if it's magic, and you will discover new headlines, new messages to do better, more converting ads. That, if you like them, you can edit, or you can publish them, or you can edit if you don't like them. So you can change from here wherever you want to say. So you can say we are in a webinar now or wherever, and once it's edited here, you can come and push it to Google Ads. But I mean, the main thing of our tool is not to automatically do it, because we understand that the advertisers need to analyze and to put it in context, but our tool is easy to manage and to publish directly to Google. But having said that, I think it's really good to have a Q&A. So if any one of you have a question about double serving or even another thing, we're happy to answer it and to talk about it. So I'm gonna come back to to here. So well, I don't know if we have some questions.
Great. Yes, there's a question from Alejandro. Sorry, Alejandro, you asked in Spanish, but we have to do it in English. If there is any problem later on, we will translate. He's asking, how do we know if a keyword is more or less likely to be suffering or having double serving? If we, based on increase of impressions year over year. I don't know if you want to answer, Manuel, or
Yeah, well, yeah, that is the I'm gonna, yeah, that is something that I didn't explain. Yeah, so it's a good question. So yeah, the thing is that we analyze any question. So this is based on real data, and based on that we predict when it's happening, that based on a complex algorithm that we develop, in which we give them probabilities, because we don't have 100% of certainties, because Google doesn't give us that tool. But we divide that in 4 different categories. The first one is when it's very likely. That means that there's more than 90% of probabilities that this is happening at keyword level. So you will discover it in one keyword. Then there's that uncertain. That means that there are more than 60%, between 60 and 90% of probabilities that you are being double served. Then there's that unlikely, that is almost less than 60% of probabilities. And then there's that when we know for sure that this is not happening to you, and we will signal it as a no. So it's no double serving. By the way, I want to say something about it. But I don't know if that answered your question, Alejandro. But
just to add something up, we take into account the data that Google provides about top position versus other positions, and based on that is what Manuel explained. We get to give these probabilities. Right now, and it was part of the presentation of Manuel, what can you do with that? Which strategies can you do with that? Well, that's the next steps. And that's why all of you are here and many minds thinking about it. So, so far, there's not much that you can do, although there are some strategies that you could take. But it's Google who decides if it's happened or it doesn't. So the first step is this. We shed some light on it, and we show you when it's happening and to what extent. So we're open to any ideas, because that's how we build our products, based on what your feedback and what you guys need to accomplish on Google Ads. So feel free to share whatever. If you need us to try to create something or to cross some of the data, that will be always helpful.
yeah, that then Alejandro is asking if branded keywords are more likely. Yeah, that's the thing I forgot. Yeah, in the first step, it happened, or it was noticed in branded keywords, but then Google give, we can send it later on, the official post of Google saying that this is going to happen in every keyword. And we're seeing it, and in the example that I showed you, it's happening not only in branded keywords, but in generic. So what is happening, and that's why I said that we don't know if it's going to be good or bad for you, because it depends on many questions. What is for sure happening is that Google saw that as an opportunity to increase the effective CPM, the monetization that they are having in their inventory, in their keyword inventory. So this is gonna, one of the things that I think is gonna happen is that when you have very good margin, you will be able to bid higher than your competitors. So Google will prefer to serve your ads both in top and other. So you could be being served in both, paying higher CPCs. So that's why we thought that this was a similar case to the trademark one, because it will end up having higher costs. So yes, this is happening for brand keywords and for generic. Are branded more likely? Yes, branded are more likely. That's why they notice it first in brand keywords, because uh, brand keywords are usually less competed. So probably in one branded keyword, there are only 5 advertisers. So if there are only 5, they will Google will serve your ad in probably in the first position and in the seventh. But in keywords where there are 25 advertisers, maybe they don't need to increase artificially their prices, because there's already 25 advertisers. So there's already very good competition. But what they are trying to do, in my opinion, is that they are trying to increase competition when there is not, or let me say it again, when there is not enough competition, because competition there's always, and everything that is not paying 1 or 5 cents is a lot, in our opinion, for brand keyword, because we've seen it that this happened for many years until they changed that. So I think, uh, what else questions, Angel,
There
can
is
you?
Florian asking if we have any information on conversions going up, or if they did go up. And for sure, you have something to say. What we've seen is in many cases where conversions didn't go up. Actually, these large advertisers, which were the first ones who started asking us what's going on, and from there we started digging and finding this thing, no, this double serving, is that they were performing the same but spending CPCs sometimes even for example 40% higher, meaning that an advertiser spending, imagine, I don't know, millions, that 40% is a high increase without extra conversion. But anyway, in any case, there will be different situations for sure. That's why we have the data, and now we need to start testing and analyzing different accounts, different advertisers, and different situations.
Then there's another question. If Google understand that our keywords have better performance and ROAS, it will show in both positions. Yeah, Yes, I think so. This is something that will hopefully occur. But the thing is that if the prices, the CPCs went up, uh, you're gonna have less margins. The the thing, because we believe that this is not gonna be good for you in general, is because they are getting all of the value in the value chain of marketing. So one thing that is happening in some industries, like in travel, is that they are getting a lot of the big part of the EBITDA goes to them. So even that the advertisers end up competing between themselves, so they increase prices, and the one that is always winning is Google, because they pay more for the same thing. So yeah, if your performance and ROAS is good, I think that you will increase visibility, you will increase print density, you will increase more, yeah, more. You will be more present, and that will end up. You will end up making more conversions, but probably at higher prices.
Mhm. There's question, Christina, but maybe increase conversions with double serving keyword by other keyword eligible for these same search terms and lower CPCs, had less traffic and suffered. I don't know if I get the question right, but that's part of we need to start analyzing from now on. What is exactly Google doing? Because there is still some black box here. Is Google triggering different ad groups for the same search query, different keywords, which keywords in that case, and so on. And so we need to start analyzing now that we have this data. And I think a little bit related with what Florian asks. If the costs go up with the same advertiser, that would mean that the audience clicks on both ads, or they only click on the second, more expensive ad, and information on that. Again, that's what we need to analyze. We are seeing, I don't know if in all cases that the CPCs on the other positions that Google calls looks higher than the top positions, but in the end, top positions have more volume. But again, that's what we need to analyze. I don't know if Manuel has some thoughts on
No,
this.
yeah, no, no, yeah. That is the case that we analyzed already. So what it happens is that before that product update, your ad was served only once. So you had a certain CTR, whatever it is, it was a number. Now, when they put double serving, your ad was double times. So you had less CTR, because if the user clicked on you on the first on the top position or in the other, it doesn't click in the other one. So your CTR dropped. As your CTR dropped, your quality score went down also. And as your quality score went down, your CPC went up. So what it happened is that, and that is what advertisers were very worried about it, is that they saw increases in CPCs of 40 to 80% in those brand CPCs. So people that were spending, let's say, 50,000 euros per month in keywords, in brand keywords, they saw that this changed to 80, 90,000 euros per month. Those are large advertisers. I don't have to say that. People that spending, companies spending a lot, but that increase, that it was between 50 and 80%, as the total account. In the total account, it was like 10 between 10 and 15% of increase, of total budget to get the same number of conversions. So that's why it was very worrying for them and for us as a partners. So we decided to start developing something to understand it better, to give them more insights, and to help them take better decisions. So it worked so far because they could manage, they could bid differently in those keywords that suffered the most. And but I don't know if Florian, if that answered that your question, but that is what it happened. So we have information that is private information from concrete advertisers, so we can't share that. But that is the what it happened, and that is what we think that will happen more times in the near future.
Great. Well, seems like there's no more questions right now, but anyways, feel free to send us an email whenever you want. We will try to answer your questions. We will send you the webinar later on. I don't know if you want to add something, Manuel. Otherwise, we can
Yeah.
close. Thanks,
Well,
guys.
yeah, I can add something that anyone that would to test if it's happening to them, we have a free trial of our product, so they can just access to dolnai.com, and there's a free trial there. Just clicking them, they will be able to run a free test report. They have to select an account. You can only select one account for each one Google Ads account for each user that you create. But if you want to test with two different users, two different emails, you will be able to analyze it in two accounts. And the tool, it will give you an idea on what is happening, not only in double serving, but in the other things like that print density, or improving your ads, or seeing many competitors info. Well, that is an idea to that everyone can test it for free. And if they want to know more, just you can write us to dolnai@dolnai.com, and we will try to answer whatever question that you can have.
Great. So shall we close? Anyone have a question? It's time. Otherwise, as we said, we will share it with you via email. Thank you, everyone who's been here, and see you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.